That's almost new. Triple mint is right behind new.
You know that Range Rover that hit my Civic?
Yeah.
They're here again. Hit and runs do not fly at Grand Caliber.
If you look just at the door, it isn't crooked.
You start getting on a phone call and you run off and nobody knows what you're doing.
We're talking about a massive store, whatever the case may be. Probably not gonna happen.
My gut says this is a fraud. I don't think it's a real deal.
But you did this. Come on, like.
That's all that matters, baby. That's all that matters for the camera.
How you doing today, man?
I'm pretty good. How are you, Vic? You walking fast?
Man, look, I'm walking fast. Hey, John, you know that Range Rover that hit my Civic?
Yeah.
They're here again.
Again?
Again. I gotta move quick. I'm gonna post a sticky note on that car. You see this right here?
Let's see it.
And I left a note, because I know it was them, right? My man Josh saw them do it. Put my phone number. Let's go. Hit and runs do not fly at Grand Caliber.
So yeah, my girlfriend was dropping food off to me one day, and then a Range Rover backed out and hit a car, and then come to find out it was Vic's car. So I knew the timestamp when they were there, I knew exactly who did it, and she just hit it, and then
Got my heart beating a little bit. Man, it's like, it's not even a big deal, but it's just the fact that they hopped out, looked at my car, saw the damage, and left. So I gotta hurry up and leave this sticky note, you know? Still waiting. I'm gonna make sure that damage is still there. Look at this.
yep.
It's not even a big deal. Let me show you my car where they hit. They probably didn't know that I work here, right? So they probably thought they hit a car. They're never gonna see me again. But I work here, and you come here every week, so we're gonna run into each other. But it'll be a friendly conversation. I'm a friendly guy. But you did this. Come on, like. So this is my little daily beater, right? Gas saver, man, done me wonders. But if it was my GTO, I probably wouldn't be so friendly about it. Thankfully, it was this one and not my baby. I just want her to come forward. Even an apology will make this all go away.
What's going on, guys? My name is Alex. I am the creative that works for an agency that Grand Caliber hired just a little under a year ago. I do all of the product photography for the website. I also do all the lifestyle images that you see on social media. Today, Jimmy asked if I could take you guys kind of through the little process and rundown of how we handle the watches, how we clean them, how we shoot them, and how we ultimately just like edit them for the website and everything. So we've got some watches in today. The cleaning process is actually pretty challenging just because everybody puts their hands on these multiple times a day, and even taking the gloves on and off, oil from our hands will resonate on these microfiber gloves. My job is to basically clean these up as best as possible before I take any images. A lot of the watches that we have that come in are consigned, and so they're probably going to be scuffed up a little bit. We have to keep those scratches in there, but there's also just a lot of other small things that we can't see that aren't part of the watch. I'll kind of get started and show you guys my my process behind this. Typically use just some general cleaning spray. We'll kind of just start, you know, on the sides here, just making sure that we kind of get all that skin oil and other things. There's a lot of dust on these, and that's really a big issue and can take up a lot of time in post-production. After I get done using a microfiber cloth on the watch, I take my air duster and just kind of go around the watch and making sure that I get anything that I can't really see. A lot of dust builds up between the links, corners there. All right, take the tags off. Sutton, he's got to redo all those. Another thing that Rolex does is that they always set the time and the date to 10:10. This setup is specifically for product photography that goes on the website. I use these basically whiteboards as reflectors. It doesn't always happen on the first try. Sometimes you have to adjust the watch and everything. This is kind of how it happens. We always center up everything no matter what. On a lot of the Rolexes, they're really reflective. I like to kind of shoot these a little bit darker just to kind of preserve some of those reflections and details. It makes for a better image and a finer product image. So this is just the raw image that I just took of the meteorite dial. As you can see, it's the the links and just kind of the whole like body is a little bit yellow. That's partly due to the light that we use. Like I was saying earlier, I shoot these a little bit darker just to preserve some of those details. I'm gonna actually edit this up real quick for you guys and show you the final image here in just a sec. This is kind of just an example of what I was talking about earlier when we were cleaning. All these little microfiber pieces or specks or whatever you want to call them, these aren't actually scratches. This is dust just really stuck on the watch, and all that kind of has to be cleaned out because it's not actually part of the watch. That process can take a really long time. After a couple clicks in Photoshop here and there, cleaning, making sure everything looks good. As you guys can see, it's a pretty drastic change between how it was shot and what's going to go on the website. And the reason why I take all those like yellows and oranges out and you know, other colors that aren't supposed to be there is because Rolex does the same thing. On the Rolex page, if you guys, here, I'll show you. If you look back here, these colors aren't supposed to be in the watch. And so after I'm done editing and everything, I want to make sure that our product images look just as good as Rolex's. That's where the inspiration comes behind our product photography.
Well, I mean, the client, from when I walked in here, had told him a certain price point, and he told the client, okay, so you want X amount price, let me give it my team. Okay. But it's like, that's what we're trying to teach him, is don't walk away. I can help you, we're here, right?
He did that yesterday too.
So now,
I mean, look, I think he has it's a nervous habit. It's a nervous habit where he feels like he kind of like gets a little overloaded, so he just runs off and he's in his own comfort zone. Yeah. So we're trying to pull him out of that comfort zone. Eric, all right, let's talk about something. Hey. So basically, whenever he's trying to help you, remember how we talked about that you need to do your phone calls in front of other sales guys that have more experience than you, so we can kind of guide you through the darkness and the light and so forth. What Vic is pointing out is, once again, and I'm not bashing you for it, I understand, I think it's a nervous habit, personally, where you start getting on a phone call and you run off and nobody knows what you're doing. And when you do that, that creates a liability, because if you say the wrong thing or you do the wrong thing without somebody guiding you, he's here for you. I'm here for you. If you run off and do the wrong thing and it comes back later on operations, or it comes back later on us where something wasn't communicated properly, then what's going to happen is it's going to fall back on you because you didn't let anybody correct the problem right then and there. Right. And then, you remember that last deal we did where you basically sold a watch and then we found out later that it was missing this or missing that because it wasn't communicated properly and so forth. Whether it was your fault or not, it still comes back on you. Now, if we're all together on that deal, we all know where to guide you and where we can defend you and where we can't defend you. But if nobody knows, then what do we do? What
was that combo like? If you were to summarize it, does he have a trade or is he selling?
He has a scheduler. He wants that to be consigned. Okay. And then once it sells, he wants that to go onto the Meteorite, Pepsi. Mm-hmm. Now, his only objection, I was just hearing him out talking to him, is taxes. Okay. He doesn't want to be taxed to 9.13 in California, which is pretty high. He's trying to find a way around this deal. I kept some things in mind that you had told me. It didn't go bad. It's just I was trying to hear out his objections and
Gotcha.
All I ask for you to do, just for now until we kind of feel confident where you can go walk off, just please stay by one of our sides on the phone. If a phone call come to us, don't walk away from us. He has your back. Alfred has your back. Everybody has your back. So as long as you're around, you're in a position where you're very teachable. You're in a position where we can catch something that's really, because sometimes I need help on things. Sometimes he comes to me all the time and I come to Alfred on some things. You know what I mean? We're not the know-all, end-all of information when it comes to sales. I think 3-4 minds is better than one. When we're all putting our brains together on something, we can all see different perspectives in the same deal, right? So if he catches something you're saying that's wrong, he's coming from experience. So he's going to tell you, hey, Eric, make sure you let him know this, this, and this, and this, or we can do this, this, and this, and you didn't think of that. You're like, oh, yeah, that makes sense. Now we can navigate the deal this way.
I want to be able to help you. Instead of telling the client, like, hey, let me check with my team, let me call you back, let me get back with you, we can address it right then and there, because time kills deals, so True. I just want to be able to help you, but I can't help you if I don't know what's going on.
Right.
That's all, man.
One bite, Sutton, come on. Send it home.
I like this shit. It's not happening.
It went to you last night at 8:20 p.m. Then he went online and submitted a form, which was a different submission. That form went to Alfred at 9 a.m. this morning. So there was 2 of the same people in our CRM, but because he made a profile through Instagram and then made a profile through our website, there was 2 leads. It was originally signed to you, but Alfred closed it because he locked in the deal. That's one of the things that we're trying to figure out is, if you reach out and you fill out a form submission on our website, that's one thing. But then if you go and immediately message us on Instagram or Facebook, well, the CRM doesn't compute that that's the same person, because multiple people could be named Mike William or, you know, whomever. So what's the identifying factor? Is it their name, which shouldn't be the case? Is it their email? Is it their phone number? But if someone's sending you a message on Instagram, they're not going to say, hey, my number is so-and-so and this is my email before they even talk to you. You know, they might just say, hey, I want to buy a watch, I want to find a watch, I want to consign a watch. And so the CRM is having multiple profiles potentially if that client is doing multiple variations of how they reach out. So another CRM problem, but that's what happened there.
Were you saying you needed logos on the walls?
Yeah, we're going to get a logo, like a big logo on that left wall there, and then move that small logo on top of the TV. That way, when Matt's shooting, no matter what angle, our logos are everywhere.
Always in the shot. Okay. Yeah. So, I mean, I'm not a marketing genius. I might get an idea to where we can get that a little sooner than later and maybe a little cheaper. Showroom logoed. Problem solved. Hey, Jimmy. I got the problem solved. We got the logos up.
What is this?
All right, guys, so this is something I get asked a lot, and how do I tell if a Rolex link is original? Well, here's a perfect example. I ordered some links, and they actually showed up aftermarket, but I did order them as original, and I'm going to show you guys exactly what to look for, because this is something I saw, and you guys are now going to see it, and once you see it, you won't unsee it, and it's something you'll always be able to catch. So here we have a DHS-41 two-tone rose gold, and it needed some extra links, and what we have here are the links. And I want you guys to notice something. Think to yourself, what's different about this link than these links? So the middle of the links are recessed between these two steel parts. So meaning it's, you know, the top of the rose gold portion is deeper than the stainless steel portion. So if you look at an angle, you'll actually see it's just sitting inside that recess, whereas the original ones are flush to the top. Another thing that I noticed about this link is whenever you go to move it, it's very stiff. Or any position I put it in, it just sticks, like it doesn't move. The color of the gold on this one is almost too rosy. This rose gold is much lighter than that. This is very much like, it's almost pink, whereas this has a lot of yellow undertone but rose gold. The one thing I also want you guys to look at are the screws and the way the screws go in. If you look at the screw, the head of the screw isn't really that nice. It doesn't really line up very well with the hole, meaning like the hole has some gap in there, and when we look at the other side, you can just see that, you know, it's got a lot of space around the other side of it. It's just not really pretty. Like, take a look at the hole here and the way it meets the end of the bracelet, and then let's look at the one on original. It just flushes up really nice, so it almost looks like it just disappears once it lines up properly. Here's the thing about links. So right now, if I wanted to buy a two-tone rose gold link, my cost is $325 from a dealer. That's two links is already $650. That digs very much into the profit margins on these watches. If you know what to look for, you'll save your ass every time on these type of deals.
So this is what we do at GC. We eat, work deals, eat, work deals. So it takes about 2 to 3 hours to eat on average, but we get it done. Mr. Blake.
What's going on, buddy?
Hey, how you doing? This is Victor at Grand Caliber.
What's going on, man?
Man, nothing much. Thanks for being patient. It has been a hectic, busy day, but no complaints, you know. Yeah, man, I do have that watch still available.
Do I just need to call the bank to do the wire and all that? I ain't done that, I don't know.
No, you're perfectly fine. Let me just explain our process. You're about an hour-ish away. Are you wanting us to do shipping? Are you going to pick this up?
I'd like to come down and pick it up.
Yeah.
That'd be awesome.
All right, perfect. So just being transparent, there is Texas tax. On that watch, we're asking $2,750. So it's a total of $2,976.
Okay.
All right, I'm going to screenshot this to you, and it will be reflected on the invoice.
All right, that sounds good. Yeah, I'll send you that right now.
Perfect. Well, I'm excited for you, man. It's definitely a nice piece to own. I personally took this piece in. I've been trying to sell it, man, because I know the market on that piece. And the price that we have it listed, I'm like, man, this is below wholesale. Somebody needs to snag it.
That's what I'm saying, man. The box, the papers, and everything. So, man, that's a deal right there.
Absolutely. And when I say mint, I mean mint condition. All his pieces, he says they're pre-owned, but I'm like, man, you know, we just got to be upfront. If it is pre-owned, we have to disclose that. But if you ask me, 9 out of 10 condition, no doubt.
That's awesome.
Well, cool, man. I'm excited for you to come down and meet us. All right, Blake. Well, it was a pleasure. You have anything else you need?
Nope, that's it, man. I appreciate it.
Most definitely. Mr. Blake, he's going to come into the store to pick this up. To the Black Bay. I took this watch in a couple weeks ago, and now I'm very surprised that this thing has sat here this long.
Give them until tomorrow, and if they don't respond by then, shoot them another text. What watch is it, do you know?
41, so.
I would say, hey, are you open to a new? Just to get them, they said pre-owned, but just to have them text you back.
And try to do that tomorrow.
Yeah, and then either you or tell somebody that you need the watch, and then we'll source it for you.
Awesome.
So Trent just got moved up to half back-end, half sales until we can completely transition him into just sales.
That's awesome.
He definitely deserves it. He's been here, I think we're the only 2 original employees because we were interns together. But he came in specifically to work back-end, but then he wanted to do sales. So now he's finally having that position as sales. So he's just learning the CRM that we have at the moment until we get another one.
Alright, last video you saw that my daily is this Datejust, the 126334. But the Submariner has always been my favorite Rolex. So should I change up the daily? This is the 116610LN, so it's a 2020. I'm just, debating between the two. What would you take as your daily carry, your everyday watch? You going Submariner or Datejust?
Last time you guys were watching, I was still. Ooh, hey Deja. Well, last episode I was painting. Hey, I'm gonna need you to get another sign.
Okay.
Okay, because 1, we're now open on Saturdays.
Okay.
So Saturday is not by appointment only.
Okay.
And 2, this looks crooked. Like it looks great here, but as soon as you put it with that, it looks crooked.
Like the left side is a little higher?
Yeah.
If you look just at the door, it isn't crooked.
But if you have that back thing,
We need to have it aligned with the wall
right?
because that's how people are looking at it from here.
Last time you guys watched our episode, I was painting that weekend. No new major pieces of art, but I did do all the paintings, so that's all done. This is gray screen, I think that's the color. But now that flows throughout the entire office. You'll see the Grand Caliber blue in the back there, but all the offices are now this color. Start to add a little more logos, so you have our logo there, and then Matt, a big logo on that side there. We're waiting for some art from Dan. As you guys know, I've been talking to Dan Chappell. He's an artist in the UK. He's working on 5 pieces of art that's gonna fill out this room. Hopefully that's coming in the next week or 2. And then next door is what we call our client room. That's where you take client meetings. That room is pretty bare right now. Again, Dan, if you can speed up some of your art here, that'd be nice because it's a little empty. The long-term goal is, you guys might have heard in prior episodes, TPG was talking about a build out, and at a certain point we were talking about a massive store, whatever the case may be. Probably not going to happen. You got to be a little bit more realistic with the market environment. Try to keep overhead down. Business is doing really well right now. This is arguably the strongest month that we've had since we've been at Grand Caliber, hitting all of our sales goals. And so if it's working right now with what we have, why tweak it so much where we don't really need to do this massive build out? Unfortunately, we're in the lease that was signed last fall by prior ownership group, so it's really maximizing what we have. I do think we need to refloor. And then you see kind of that office flooring there, refloor there. My idea is it'd be to knock this wall and this wall, as well as remove this wall, to create one really open environment, right? So you have a big showroom that kind of flows through instead of this office feel where there's 3 separate rooms. This space here would all kind of be a one open showroom. You work with what you got, try to maximize the space. I think it's a good space. I think we can make it a little bit better without doing a massive build out. Look, I don't know anything about construction, but I was told that any walls with electrical plugs, I can't just knock the wall out. I have to submit for permits and get approval. I don't know where to start with that. So if there's, again, a contractor out there that can let us know, that'd be helpful. You guys see me, I'm pretty handy. If you need me to do some demo, I can. I got a hammer, I got a bolt cutter.
We could just blow a Marco-sized hole in the wall and he could jump through it, yeah.
See, if you look really closely, you'll see my non-professional. I was filling in some of the drill marks. It looks okay if you look right at it because the paint kind of all matches, but when you look at the angle, you definitely see the, was it schlacking?
Well, on camera it looks perfect, so you're good.
That's all that matters, baby. That's all that matters with the camera.
This client, he's sending a lead. He has an SD43 that he wants to consign. Actually, no, he wants to sell it. 2021. Sent a few pics right there as far as the condition.
Looks pretty nice.
Yeah, he said mint condition.
Triple mint?
Triple mint.
Oh, that's almost new. Triple mint is right behind new. Double mint means some light wear on the clasp and on the sides. Mint, mint is just like, I've worn it a lot, but you can't really tell. Triple mint, triple complete. I mean, it's got inner outer box. It's got the white shell clam on the outside. It's got bow tags, all the books. That's triple. Listen, there's a tier system to all this because I hear it all the time from clients. Like, no, it's mint. I'm like, oh, mint.
Right. Not triple mint, just mint. Let's just play a game. I want to see where I'm at versus where you are. If we're gonna buy this thing.
I'll write it on a calculator. How about that? I'll write it on a calculator. This is the buy price on the watch. For us to stock it right now, this is kind of what we're buying it. You ready?
Yep. There we go.
Hey.
So that's what I'm talking
We're on
about.
the
Man, I
same
learned
page.
from the best.
I've got a large pepperoni pizza here.
Funny looking pizza, bro.
I will not be having salad for lunch today.
Wash our hands, and we're gonna pass them out via the sales ranking. Well, operations always first. I said wash my hands, so I thought I should wash my hands. Trent, since you're in hybrid sales and operations, you're just lost in the middle, so you go last.
I say I'm the last operations guy to pick, and then the first salesman.
Good thought process there. Eric, where are you on the leaderboard?
Third place.
Third? Yeah. Jai, where are you?
Second.
Who's first?
Alfred.
But he's not here today. That means you first. It can be really hard to figure out whose is whose. I got a BDD Grilla.
Yeah, that's Trent.
Oh yeah.
Sorry, man.
It's all good, man. He was the last operations for sales guy.
Zoe Control C-OP.
Cheese, lettuce, oyster, perpetual.
All right, who's got double? Bacon, cheeseburger, cull. Cheeseburger with Swiss? Cheeseburger. Where did we get lunch today?
We got lunch at Burger House on Mockingbird in Dallas. We haven't tasted it yet, so we don't know how good it's gonna be.
Son, I know you're waiting. Hold on.
Sutton's extremely worried.
I think I'm the only person that didn't get a burger.
What'd you get? Double
Chicken
beef.
sandwich.
Bacon double. Big
That's
bacon
a heavy
double. That's a heavy burger.
For a heavy fella.
We're trying. You got this. Eric!
Somebody's shitting their pants.
All right, well, he's closing a deal, then he's gonna shit his pants. This is so much harder than just, way harder than it needs to be.
What's up, man? How you doing?
Blake, man.
How you doing? Nice to meet you, man.
You too, man.
You excited?
Absolutely.
I'm excited for you. Man, I've been telling everybody here how excited you've been, and we looked up and got it on phone call the other day. So
Yeah, you told me.
putting a voice with a face, and
I'm glad to be here.
absolutely.
Meet y'all.
It's a bullpen where it goes down.
What's up, bro? Nice to meet y'all. How are you? Good. How you doing, Marco? Good.
What you got going?
Shooting some vintage GMTs. So they have one that looks exactly like this called Between the Lines.
Is it the ones that look like a little
No,
torpedo?
yeah, they look like a little torpedo.
The real expensive ones?
Yeah, so he just gave me some cigars, and I really appreciate that. So actually, my favorite cigar, I haven't smoked one in so long, but it's Patron. They're really high-end cigars. I love the cigar. It's really good. And then he gave me a Rocky Patel, correct? But yeah, this is a really good one too. I can't wait to try this. But it's got a two-tone wrap on it, so it's between a natural
Little
wrap.
barber poles, like I like to call it.
Yeah, I mean, which one's your favorite?
Out of me personally, I think this one.
And what's this one?
Perdomo.
Oh, Perdomo, yeah. Yeah, these are good stuff. This guy knows his cigars.
Oh man, my man. So this is like your first, I guess, step into luxury watches.
Yep.
Yeah. What have you rocked in the past?
Seikos.
Yeah. We all gonna start somewhere.
Yeah.
Absolutely. There you go. Boom, boom. Yeah. I wanted to leave this. I'm gonna take the plastic off, but I just want you to kind of see this, the condition we keep our stuff in.
Yeah, you told me on the phone
Yeah.
about it.
And that one there, like I said, he said pre-owned, but he definitely took care of his watches.
Yeah, showed me how to work that in that class. A little different than I ever worked with.
Yeah. So this right here, you just kind of flip it up towards you, right?
Yeah.
And then it also has this one here that kind of fully. So I want you to do it just to get a feel for that. And we'll see how it fits. If I need to take
Oh, definitely gonna need some at least, maybe one or two.
Gotcha.
Ooh, let's have a look. God, that's a pretty watch.
Yes.
I'm pumped.
Yeah, I think you get a lot of watch for the money with us, you know, definitely. And then that red bezel gives it that little bit of pop.
Like I said, this kind you can dress it down, dress it up.
Exactly.
We got some beverages right this way, y'all. This way, yeah, there's a little mini fridge. Check this out. Help yourself.
Awesome.
How'd you guys hear about us?
From YouTube.
YouTube?
He heard it from me. I got him. I told him about it. We just been keeping it up.
Awesome.
Once he got me hooked on it literally for like 3 days, 4 days straight. I was just binge watching, all y'all's videos.
Awesome.
So
been keeping up through the the change and all that too with it. So
definitely big fan.
Are you guys enjoying the content or anything you'd like to see that we're not doing? Because we really want to satisfy the viewers. And sometimes that's difficult, you know.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Definitely.
For sure. But no, like every time I see y'all's videos coming out and stuff, I love it. I love y'all's content. I love everything y'all are doing about it.
As soon as I click on YouTube and I see it, the fresh one ready up and loaded up, it's the first thing I click on to watch.
For sure. So definitely happy that we came in, got to meet the team and stuff like that. So
awesome. We're proud of you guys.
Sure.
Yeah, let's go back in here and check out your watch again.
See if that fits, and I'll show you kind of how to operate it.
Oh yeah, that's it.
Yes.
Hello, how are you guys? Can I package up this watch for you?
Yes.
You must be Blake.
No, ma'am, that would be me.
Awesome. I'm Deja. We spoke on the phone the other day.
Nice
to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Here you go.
How is everything? How are you liking GC now that you're here? Hopefully the drive wasn't too bad.
Oh, it was a great experience.
Awesome. Well, everything you need is in here. You have our phone number, and I'll also shoot you an email so that you have my direct contact info.
Okay.
And if you need us, feel free to reach out.
I absolutely will.
This is all you.
Thank you.
You're very
Thank
welcome.
You very much.
Nice to meet you guys.
Hey, nice to see you guys, man.
Nice to see you,
Appreciate you
buddy.
guys making the drive down there.
Oh, it ain't no problem. Just an hour.
Yeah, just an hour. Come by anytime.
So we got kind of an interesting situation. I'm gonna try to explain it to the best I can. So I had a client who reached out to me. He's done a lot of business with us, so he's pretty much a VIP at this point. And he was looking for the specific watch, so I called the consignee. He wanted the price just a little bit lower, so I called the consignee. The consignee agreed to the price, and I shot it back to my client. He was heading out of town, so he was like, let me sit on it for just the flight, and I'll let you know. And then the consignee reached back out to me and said, hey, like, what's going on? And I was like, hey, we're just kind of waiting on the client. He's like, well, offer him a new price. I was like, okay, that's even better. So I messaged it to my client. He was still kind of sitting on it because his trade-in wasn't quite where he wanted it to be. So we were just kind of sitting on it, making sure that we can get the deal to go through so everyone was happy. Once we got that all figured out, the consignee got back to me and said, hey, drop the price to this number. It'll be a no-brainer. I called my client and he was like, of course, that's a deal of a lifetime. So we went ahead with it, right? And the interesting thing was Marco was also telling us, hey guys, this watch, the client wants to get moved, so it's a good time for us to sell it. He's negotiable on price. So what do? We move the watch. So it looks like we were talking to two different people actually, potentially, we don't know yet. The person Marco was talking about definitely owns the watch, so I'm gonna go find out if the person I've been talking to actually owns this watch.
Hello?
Hey, how's it going? This is Jai with Grand Caliber.
Yeah.
Hey, so just kind of following up with you on that watch. We're trying to get that moved here for you. Just real quick, because we're kind of messing up in our system. You have the consignment agreement, right, in the email that we sent you?
I mean, maybe. I'd have to look for it.
Yeah, well, while I got you on the phone, can you just look for it real quick? It should just be under operations at Grand Caliber.
All right, I'll look.
Okay, cool.
Give me 1 second.
Yeah, of course, take your time.
Yeah, I don't see anything that y'all sent.
You don't see it? Okay. Not in your spam? Did you check that?
Yeah, I searched the whole thing. I didn't see anything.
Okay, because it's kind of coming back on our end also, though we're not really able to locate it. Just for us to get the wire out to you, obviously we want to get you paid if we can get everything going here. Can you send me a picture of your driver's license? We just have to have that for obviously our security purposes.
Yeah, I can send that.
Okay, yeah, if you can text me a picture of that, pretty much got your watch sold, so we'll get the ball rolling.
Okay.
All right, perfect.
Yeah.
Well, thank you. Thank you for working with me, Kevin.
All right, bye.
Bye. So it's kind of strange, right? So that's our guy, Kevin, theoretically. I don't know how you wouldn't have our consignment agreement in your email. I mean, it doesn't go away. It doesn't expire. So without him being able to find that, that's why we need the proof of the ID. If we can get him with his ID and we can match everything up, we're good to go, and he'll get that wire. But if he cannot give me a picture of his ID or he starts to give us something weird, pretty much I think we have a fraudulent account on our hands.
What's your gut tell you about this guy?
My gut says this is a fraud. I don't think it's a real deal, which sucks because it had some good setup for the company. It's just one of those situations though, but we're in the middle of it, so hopefully we can figure it out. It was one of those ones where the deal was so good that obviously anybody's gonna take it, and I had the perfect client for it. He's great with us, so he wired the money an hour before the bank closed. So he rushed over, got it. So it's kind of one of those ones we're sitting a little awkward if it's a fraudulent one.
Man, I don't know. Something's up. It almost seems like y'all were talking to the same people, but then it didn't, and he's acting funny.
Yeah. Well, the weird part is that with Marco saying that the client's negotiable on price, and then this theoretical Kevin saying the same thing with accurate numbers, that's throwing me off. That's why I really thought this was an easy deal.
But
Yeah, Jai, you just sent me a message.
Hey, what's the name on the account? Yeah.
What do you say?
It literally says, I don't feel comfortable sending my ID through text or email. Look at this.
First the email, you don't see it. Now you don't want to see your driver's license. Come on now.
Yeah, we're talking about tens of thousands of dollars getting wired over to this guy, and he won't send a picture of his ID.
Red
we need
flag.
a picture of an ID to get a consignment agreement.
Hey, that's
There's no way.
So what happened was a client by the name of Kevin had a blue dial white gold GMT Pepsi on consignment. I don't know how this happened, but in his profile in this beta CRM that we're using, again, we just locked a deal with Salesforce. We're going to be on Salesforce in about 4 weeks. But in this beta CRM, somehow the phone number was switched. So when our sales team was looking to talk to the consignee about lowering the price because they had a potential buyer, they called a number that was listed under Kevin's account. They talked to this person. This person said, yep, I want this price, knew all the specs of the watch. Both Eric and Jai are talking to this supposed Kevin. Well, then Marco was confused because he's like, I just spoke with Kevin earlier today. He must really need the cash if he's willing to drop the price that far. No one thought anything of it. We ended up selling the watch to a buyer. And then we're trying to figure out what happened here, because all of a sudden Kevin's sending us wire information that doesn't match what we have on file. So then we're looking into it, and this number that pulls up belongs to a gentleman by the name of Najee, who was a client of ours. He's done 1 or 2 transactions in the past, but he's saying that he's Kevin, and Kevin's on the phone saying he's Kevin. So we're confused because they both claim that they have a watch with us on consignment, but we only have one. Well, one of the phone numbers we know the sound of their voice, we've seen their ID, is really Kevin. The other number, he's like, oh, I am Kevin. And so he's sending us his wire information, trying to scam us into getting us to wire him, until I said, hey, send me a driver's license, some ID. He's like, oh, I'll get that over to you in a few minutes. 10 minutes goes by, he goes, I don't feel comfortable sending my ID via text or email. So you're telling me you're not comfortable sending me your ID via text or email, but you're willing to send me your bank account information? Luckily, we figured that out. Unfortunately, it's going to cost us a little bit because we already committed to the buyer at a certain price. We agreed we're going to honor our word with that. The price is much lower than the consignee wanted, and obviously it's not the consignee's fault that we were negotiating with someone that wasn't really him. Frustrations with the CRM, but luckily it's a small loss. It's a learning experience. Glad that we caught that before we wired someone incorrectly. For those people who are consigning watches with us, when we send you a consignment agreement, please, please, please fill in all the information. I can't tell you how many people, when it comes to the wire information, they just put NA, NA, NA. If that happens, it makes it harder for us to pay you, because when I queue up the wire, if there's no information, I'm going to move on to the next one. And then I'll go to our sales team and say, hey, did you work with so-and-so client? It just delays the whole process. So another day in the life of Grand Caliber, but luckily we were able to minimize the loss there, and then we got paid. Welcome to another segment of Ask Us Anything. Guys, come on. If you have any questions, we like this segment a lot because it's a chance to engage with the viewers. So if you have any questions, please comment below. We'll answer everything that we can. Even if it's not answered on YouTube, I typically go into the comments and answer as many questions as I can. I don't care if it's a simple question or a complex question. I don't hide from any questions. You'll see I answer as many as I can. Doesn't matter what it is. So without further ado, you have any questions?
Zazri says, great episode. Question for Jimmy. Will you make a rule that only watches you own can be worn by staff, meaning no consignment/client watches can be worn?
We actually have a rule where no one can wear any inventory that we have, whether it's owned or consignment. We wear watches that we own personally. If a watch comes in and it's something for inventory, we don't allow our team to wear it. If it's a consignment watch, we definitely don't allow them to wear it. The only exception would be if a client is allowing us to wear it for a specific reason. We just wear the watches that we personally own. That's one of the biggest things that we've changed within the recent months.
James Cloud says, what would be a good entry-level watch that can also be considered an investment between 10 and 15K?
$10,000 to $15,000, perfect question. That's a great range to buy something collectible, and what I would highly suggest buying for a collectible piece would be any of the Coke GMTs, any of the Pepsi GMTs, any of the 16610 subs that are now in the low 10s. Those are great watches to get into because they'll only go up. They're not produced anymore. I think the 5-digit craze isn't going to stop. I think they're always going to be desirable for the years to come. So definitely look out for any kind of 5-digit sport models in that range, especially if you can get your hands on a 3186 Explorer 2, which is the very last Explorer 2 before they went to the 6-digit. That watch is going to have a unique feature because it is bezel engraved with the more upgraded 3186 movement. You can research that online and you'll see why that watch is special, but they're in the low 10s now, but I think one day they'll be a high teens watch.
Bilal Hussein says, can we have a separate video on the back end, behind the scenes of running the business? Really enjoy Jimmy's business tips and everything.
I would love to do that. It's something where we've gotten feedback. Some people want just watch material. Some people like the behind the scenes operations. Every time we try to show more operations, sometimes it's met with backlash. How about you guys let us know in the comments below? Do you guys want to see more specific watch content? Do you want to see more behind the scenes in operations? For us, at least for me, I think the episodes should be right around 25 to 30 minutes. We don't want to run an hour plus episodes every week. For me, I think that sweet spot is 25 to 30 minutes, so we're trying to maximize it. So what do you guys want to see? Let us know in the comments below. But I'd be more than happy to. There's actually a lot that happens behind the scenes. I just think a lot of times it's sometimes boring. I mean, I'm on conference calls, talking with various employees about certain issues or things that come up. Sometimes it's not made for YouTube material, but I'd be happy to show it if you guys want to hear it.
Tanner says, AMA question, what are the best value watches that you have in stock right now? Or alternatively, some watches that are down a lot from their all-time highs?
I would say right now, I mean, everything we have in stock right now is a great value because everything has collectively come down in value. So this is a good time to really hop in any watch that you've always wanted because everything from Rolex, Patek, AP, Richard Mille. Oh, I'm going to scratch the last part. Richard Mille is still kind of oddly a strong brand. So they're holding pretty strong. But everything else is kind of down right now. So this is a really great time to, if you've been thinking about buying a watch and you've been, looking to hold something long-term for investment, this is actually the time to buy. Everything's, a lot of the weight has been cut off to these prices. So I would argue really anything that you're looking for would be a great thing to buy right now.
Ken Sweeney says, any plans to do any events or meetups with fans or clients? Possibly renting out a restaurant or venue to bring watch people together, etc.
I think that's a great idea. It's something that we've talked about quite a bit. The answer is probably in the near future. We're just trying to be very cognizant of where the market is right now. We want to spend money on those events because we think it's really cool. Our ownership group is very flexible in terms of this is not something that we're trying to reap every single dollar from the business. We want to reinvest a lot of that money back into the business to do events like that, to do team lunches and team dinners. We're kind of being a little bit more cautious before jumping into those events, but hopefully soon we'll be able to do that.
Frank the Tank says, are y'all ever gonna address the Anthony video?
I mean, I don't know what there is really to address. I guess it just depends on the individual member because I think certain members were more highlighted than others. I think a lot of what Anthony said is his feelings and I think a lot of that is warranted. But I think it just depends on who you ask. It's hard to find people that are very introspective, and so it just depends on the viewpoint that you have. I think there's always faults on both sides. There's things that I could have done better. There's things that our team could have done better. There's things that Anthony could have done better. It's never usually on one person, but at the same time, it's really how you interpret it. And one of those questions that I get is someone says, why don't you answer the hard questions? Well, what are the hard questions? Like, I will answer the questions. You just let me know what your question is. Like, I had someone ask me, will I work with Anthony or do I work with Anthony? I've addressed this before. I have an apparel company with Anthony, so I have a really good relationship with Anthony. We're not talking every single day, but in terms of business matters, we'll talk to each other. There's no hard feelings. I have nothing against Anthony. Anthony has done a lot for me. He's given me this platform where I'm at now. He was the one that got me out of the corporate world. Every interaction I've had with Anthony has always been positive, so I have nothing against him. I know that there's a lot of people that have their feelings towards Anthony, and you guys are entitled to that. Even with our own team here at Grand Caliber, there are various people that feel a certain way, and there's no hard feelings about that. I don't know what you guys are trying to ask in terms of hard questions. I'm willing to answer them, just ask.
However he feels is how he feels. I don't think it's anything necessary to address. I'm not in the business to feed negativity or feed any type of clashbacks or anything like that. I think the best solution here is just to keep our heads down, keep working. I mean, at the end of the day, I wake up every day to sell watches. I don't wake up to start feeding in any kind of drama or any kind of, episode of, a he said, she said battle. It's not in our nature.
Well, that's another segment of Ask Us Anything. Like I said, guys, I really enjoy this segment. I think it's a chance to interact with the viewers. So if there's something that you want to know, please comment below. I'll do my best to answer those questions as quickly as I can. I'm not hiding from anything. I don't think any of us are. I think we're trying to preach transparency, and that's why I like this segment so much. So hopefully you guys have more questions, so comment below, and we'll see you next week.